Hey guys, this is Brian from Nintendo Game Point Plus. I'm coming at you kind of just me today because I guess it's just kind of something I really wanted to just like talk about. I was thinking I was debating whether I was gonna make this like a animated, like not just like a whether you're gonna see a little cartoon me on the screen at all. But you know what, I guess I just really wanted to talk about this one, so I decided to say, "What's up? You're gonna get a physical me." I guess, yeah, that's cool. Although I do love using that little caricature. I don't know why I watch too many animation channels. But okay, rambling aside, today I'm talking about what is behind me right here, and well, I want to talk about E3 because this would be around the time I'd kind of be like given info about what I was like planning to do, what like the videos I was gonna talk about, like what my planning was, like be getting hyped for like, oh, this is the video I'm going to be talking about like this week. This is the video I'm going to be talking about like next week. And in some regards, I am still kind of going to do that because I know I am going to, even though in some cases it's kind of not the same. And in one case, I'm going to begrudgingly do it, but I am going to I am going to watch some of the E3 videos this year, and I am going to watch some of the presentations that are happening, and I hopefully want to give my thoughts and opinions on them if they do them like normal directs and such. If they do like the Nintendo Direct standard or do like the E3 standard at this point. But yeah, more on that. Hopefully I'll have some more info about it later on the site sometime, hopefully this week, which, by the way, I have a website, ntgamepoint.weebly.com, which you can check out and visit and like and, do that thing. But I'm not judging you if you don't. But okay, once again, I'm not going to continue on rambling. What I'm going to do, however, is talk specifically about something that has slightly bothered me for lack of E3 this year. And that is, well, the kind of substitutes we've been getting, like our E3 substitute teachers. That's basically what I really want to say is is the E3 substitute teachers we apparently are getting. And I mean, we're getting a lot of them. I mean, we have got friggin' IGN Summer of Games, apparently. We got Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest. We got friggin' just recently they announced like a New Game Plus Expo, which is like a whole bunch of different developers coming together to show off their stuff. We got Wholesome Games Direct, apparently. Look, there's a whole bunch, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. We are somewhat bordering on too many, and and that's not me saying that these are going to be like bad in any way. It's not me saying, oh my gosh, no, they're not the same as E3 guys, not the same as Nintendo Direct guys. It's just bad. But with so many different things happening because E3 got canceled this year, I really wanted to just like talk about it, and I really wanted to kind of give like my opinion on it. And let's start with this. I remember back in March when this whole thing was really but because in case you live under a rock, because, and not even and if you live under a rock, you're probably safer than some of us out here. In case you don't know, due to the reason why you're binge watching tons of shows on whatever streaming device you stream, because of that, a lot of big events, specifically stuff like E3, some major events in the world, other major events in the world got canceled. And E3 was kind of, I won't say one of the first, but it was one of the bigger in terms of gaming events that got canceled due to the whole thing, and now, we don't have it anymore. And now E3, E3 got canceled, which kind of sucks for me because I am not kidding when I say I actually did have plans to go to E3 this year, which would be really cool. But and when I say I had plans, I mean I had bought my ticket to go to E3. And I was going to do like my whole normal E3 shtick that I've been doing for the past few years now. in LA and actually at the convention, which I thought would be pretty cool. But yeah, that got canceled. But but this isn't about me. This is not about me. This is about this. And so when I heard that, I was like, oh crap. And like the original plan, I think even E3 had was, well, you know what? It's canceled, but we're going to look at a digital format. We're going to look at, we're going to pretty much kind of look at a digital way to do this. And in my mind, that was pretty much them saying, we're still, the E3 is not happening, but we're still going to pretty much let companies put stuff out here. Like, when Nintendo puts their Nintendo Direct for E3 out, we'll host it here. When Ubisoft, I guess, because so many companies are going to switch to digital presentations now, we're going to host their stuff here. Like, this is where you see this is where you're going to get all your E3 digital content, which makes sense. Until of recent, but then a few months, like a month or so, a couple weeks after that, they pretty much kind of confirmed saying that even that wasn't going to happen, which again kind of disappointed me. It really disappointed me because even though I wasn't going to be able to go, I was thought, oh, we're going to see like a blowout of games around this time, and then that kind of fell through, and then like so many different companies started opting out. Like Bethesda said they weren't going to do anything. Ubisoft said they were like trying to figure out something, and they have. Nintendo kind of kept silent, and so many other companies, and it's been really weird. So, and all of a sudden I hear, like, I remember seeing on in the news, like IGN was planning their Summer of Games kind of, and they teamed up with some developers talking about their news, and they said, hey, you know what? We're going to have a digital experience called Summer of Games, basically kind of an E3 substitute, if you will, where we can see E3 stuff. And then later down the line, it turned to who else? Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley later announced that he would be hosting his own little thing called Summer Game Fest. And he would be hosting a tons of companies, and they would announce their stuff. And then more and more start happening, like freaking GameSpot or Games Radar is hosting like their future show thing. Then we got like indies doing their own separate thing. Then we got another group of like Sega and Atlas and SNK doing their whole New Games Plus Expo. Then we got to the point where there are a lot of different people doing their own kind of thing. Of course, EA is doing their still EA Play, and then Ubisoft announced they're going to have their own press digital thing in like July, which is a whole nother thing. But point is, a lot of people are doing different things, kind in lieu of E3 being canceled, which makes, now I'm not saying that doesn't make sense, because obviously it makes sense. You got to announce your games. It's not like, yes, we are in a very different situation right now, and yes, of course, we're doing work from home, stay at home. You want to keep people safe. You don't want people getting sick of any kind of illness. So obviously we want to make sure people are safe, but we also want to make sure that, the world still goes on. I mean, the world will still go on. Things have to still go. People still got to develop things. People still need money. And we get bored. We need games. And so, so that started happening. And so obviously, companies were not just going to not announce things. I think that's the most important thing here, is that companies did not just say, oh, well, E3's canceled. We can't announce anything, guys. We're all done here. We're all done. We're not announcing. No, that was not going to happen. So, to me, that makes sense. It makes sense why you need a supplement. And also, we've proven back, like, 2013, back when Nintendo started really ramping up Nintendo Directs, and I'll get Nintendo Directs are a whole separate video, but yeah, Nintendo Directs pretty much proven you don't necessarily need E3 to announce big things. It helps, but you don't need E3 if you want to announce something big. You can just announce something big whenever you want, honestly. And it works, and people will pay attention. It's helpful to have E3, but you don't need it. Like, you don't need E3 to announce something big. But here's my issue. But here's the issue with that same, because there's two sides to every coin. And on this coin, while yes, we don't need E3 to do all this stuff, it's not like it isn't important though, because I feel like I feel like there's a problem. I feel like the biggest issue with there not being an E3 this year is that everything's kind of scattered. It's like we had a whole it's like we had a zoo, and the animals were like the games and the presentations and all that, but suddenly the zoo gets like lifted and the gates all rise and everything is free. Of course everyone's safe, but everyone's like free, everything's like free, you can see everything and everything's coming at you, and I'm like, you don't necessarily know which order, and then some people decide, oh, let's make this order of giraffes and elephants, but the other people making lions and the penguins all to get together. Which is good, they're trying to establish an order, but it's not an order, it's more of a place to see this stuff, which is good, but I think the best way to say it is, without E3 so much, everything feels a little more scattered. And you can especially see it because even Nintendo just kind of put out a trailer for Paper Mario just recently. And there was like no direct, there was no build up, it just dropped a trailer. And granted, it was amazing. I already pre-ordered it. But I don't know, it felt a little out because there wasn't really something around it. Like, there wasn't really something around it. Yes, people talked about it, and yes, obviously there was hype building up, and obviously Nintendo got their message across saying, get ready for Paper Mario coming this year. But I think that and a lot of other things that started happening, especially as we start seeing kind of some of these game events take fruition, is that without E3, say what you will about E3 as a convention, but E3 as like the event, as the coordination, as the catalyst to where these announcements spring from, to the place where you can come to see about the new stuff. Without that, it's really sprung, and I really feel like there's a little bit of that hype that you get from seeing all these games, the excitement you get from seeing all this stuff is a little more diminished. And I don't think that, and I'm not saying, and this is not me saying like these people who are trying to make these like E3 substitutes are doing something horrible, far from it, absolutely not. If anything, they're trying something, especially considering, it's obviously hard for E3 creators, because it's obviously hard for the creators of E3 to try to reconstitute something from scratch when just out of short notice. And for a small company like IGN or Jeff Keighley, for something a little smaller, it's maybe not necessarily easier, but it's a little more accessible for them because maybe they're like used to it, or maybe they know kind of how to do this kind of stuff on the fly. What I mean is that E3 wasn't prepared for this. So yeah, it's great that we're getting some of these substitutes, but I also think I wish there was a little more order to it. I wish, one, there's a little too many. Like, there's like a few too many. Like, we have one coming up in June, like one that's lasting for months on end, one talking about only EA, one talking about only indies, one talking about a specific sect of game publishers, one talking about a different sect of game developers, unless I'm like mixing stuff up and I mixed up who's showing what in what E3 presentation. But yeah, you see my problem. It's just, it feels like everything's a little more scattered, and I don't like, and that I don't like. And also, I also want to finally mention something else about this. No, E3's not dead. Again, say what you will about that convention. Say what you will about the convention. I have read and why people say like E3 as a convention really needs to change. Like E3 as an event kind of needs some updating. I get that. But then say what you will about the convention. Say what you will about having to fly to LA to go to LA Convention Center to see all the games. Say what you will about the differences between that and PAX. Say what you will. But my thing is, though, is that I remember, because I also, again, let's time travel back to when E3 first got canceled, which, by the way, is a history first. This is the first time ever this has happened. They, I remember specifically seeing articles saying, well, what is E3's future after this cancellation? Will they be able to survive? And I'm like, yeah, no, they didn't get canceled because because the focus group said it's a bad idea. They got canceled because because of what was going on in the world. They didn't get canceled because all the gamers and industry people said, you know what, we are truly not accepting E3, and then they went to the head and said cancel E3, and the head said okay. No, they had to cancel it because of what happened. So that's another reason why I'm a little iffy about this, and why there are so many E3 little replacements. Like, not replacements, substitutes, and I understand, and again, I understand why they're doing it. But I don't think this is like the end times. Like, I don't think this is like E3's end time. I don't think that E3 as a convention is going to die, be out of this. I just feel like this is something. What I feel like is that they had to take a break this year because they really had no choice. Because they canceled because they had no choice to. And I'm not even saying like no choices in like somebody bought them. I mean like they had no choice in they had to cancel or else someone was going to sue them that they got sick in LA and why the heck were they still open, and we got a whole thing going around. So yeah, they didn't cancel themselves because the numbers weren't adding up. They canceled because no freaking duh. So I don't think this is the end. Do I think it might be helpful because because I did know that they were going to try this whole new E3 approach. Do I think it's helpful? I mean, helpful as much as you can get in terms of you close because of the whole pandemic here, but is it helpful for them to really think back through their strategy and their game plan to make sure everything works good? Yes. Is it the end times because they canceled this year because they had to? No, I don't believe that. I just think that I don't believe that this is the end of E3 at all. I just think that they got stuck in a bad position. Unfortunately, a lot of things got stuck in a bad position. So, yeah, that's kind of that's how I feel. I feel like E3 is not dead, first and foremost. I like the initiative of other companies coming forward and kind of giving their E3, kind of their ideas of what they want to show for E3. And I like how companies aren't just going to say, well, E3 is not happening, we're kind of stuck. I like how companies are taking a little more of a Nintendo Direct approach. And at least they're way more willing to. And I kind of am interested in how that would reflect in future E3s and such. I think my only issue is I really wish there was just one. I really wish E3 didn't cancel their digital experience. Because I felt like if they kept that kind of E3 hub, then maybe companies could come up and say, "Oh, okay, we'll just change up our direct perspective." But I also know this is also not other companies' faults, but I also know other companies are also like pulling up saying, well, working is tough now. Obviously, working is tough, especially around now because, again, you're streaming something. You're streaming something. Hopefully me right now, but you're streaming something. Uh, and I understand why why this is all happening. I do hope that things fix. Of course, I hope things get fixed. I hope that E3 comes back next year better, and I hope E3 ends up being something really good next year. And I look forward to hopefully being able to go next year. Yeah, and so that's kind of my thoughts. So I guess this is the question time. What do you think of all this E3 cancellations? What do you think of all these different directs and showcases and presentations popping up online. Are you excited for any? Do you kind of feel the same way? Do you think I'm wrong? Yeah, there's someone going to think I'm wrong. It's the world. It's the internet. That's what happens. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, if you just like me, if you like me sitting here just talking about stuff, click like, subscribe maybe. Go to my website because I am trying to post more. I am working on I'm working on like so much different stuff, and I have like all these like, oh god, I'm rambling again, but I am working on stuff, I promise. But like I said, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you guys later for more fun content like this. If you like it or not, keep it here at Nintendo Game Point Plus. See you.